I've been a part of this game since I was in 4th grade. I actually played the game for 21 years. That means more than half of my life I've been playing this game, and even before I retired, I started training dudes. Now, I definitely wasn't the best player I've ever played with, and even today, I'm not the smartest coach that I've been in a room with. But I don't know too many young guys who have a healthier relationship with football than I do today. I truly love this game. But in all these years of being a part of it, this season in particular feels like a year where everything is changing. I think the 2023 season is a turning point in a lot of ways, which is why with the Super Bowl just ending, culminating everybody's football season, and 27 weeks remaining until week 0 of college football, I just wanted to take a second and reflect on it. There have been tectonic shifts in the coaching world. Nick Saban retired. The NFL looks like it's about to kick off next season without Bill Belichick coaching a team for the first time in 49 years. Jim Harbaugh can die a true blue Michigan man with a record of 15-0 as he ends his college coaching tenure in Michigan to start his new one with the LA Chargers. Chip Kelly leaving the head coach at UCLA position to take on offensive coordinator role at now division rival Ohio State, an indicator of just how much college football is changing right now and the shifts in the conferences. The Pac-12 going out in a historic fashion, which was arguably the best conference in college football, ironically on its way out, and the shift to the Big 10, Big 12, ACC, AAC, all the different movement that's happening in college football. Also, the last time we'll see somebody finish 5th or 6th in college football rankings at the end of the season and claim that they were the best team, as we no longer have 4 teams playing for a championship, but heading into next season, finally have an opportunity to have 12. I just want to take a minute and tell you in greater detail about what the Summit Tour is. So this is for middle school and high school quarterbacks, and we break this into 3 categories: physically, mentally, and emotionally. On the physical side of things, we're going to look at 2 elements: how do we move and how do we throw. On the throwing side of things, we want to eliminate inefficiencies and really use this weekend to teach you what that means. On the movement side of things, how do we use the ground to move? Not lean in, not rock in, remove momentum from the game. That, once you see it the way it's supposed to be done, it's hard to unsee it. On the mental side of things, I will teach you how to learn a new system, how to read coverages, and actually every defender's job in each coverage, which, believe it or not, NFL guys can go through their whole career and not learn. On the emotional side, we get into the leadership aspect, communication, finding your voice for you young guys, and how do we actually build behaviors that lead towards the outcomes we desire. We get into all 3 of them. There's also a lot of stuff for the parent. Look, as a parent, as a young quarterback, you wear a lot of different hats. And as your young quarterback gets better and better and gets older and older, unfortunately, you take off some of those hats. I've been doing this a long time and can give some great counsel to parents as how to maximize their opportunities for their sons as they go through this process. Come out and see us. 2-day option and 3-day option. And I use the term transformative weekend for a reason. Folks that come to the Summit Tour end up thinking about the position differently and have more answers going into whatever's next for them than they otherwise would have. We also saw some stuff happen that we haven't seen before on the field. In the past 15 years, we've seen 45 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Now, The Athletic broke this down, and they have the rate of those picks working out for that franchise as 1 in 3. So you take the other 2/3 who've had to move on to other teams, and you look at that list, and actually only one of them ever in those 15 years has worked out and had a good career and won a playoff game at their second stop after being a first-round pick, and that was Ryan Tannehill moving from Miami to Tennessee. This year, not just 2 first-round picks, 2 number 1 picks, Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff, playing for a team that did not select them number 1 overall, and finding success, having career years, both of them, and going to the playoffs, Jared going to the NFC title. Baker Mayfield on his 4th team after being selected number 1 overall, went 9-8, won the NFC South, and upset the Eagles in the playoff. He had career highs in touchdowns, yards, and completion percentage. Jared Goff went 12-5 on his way to the NFC title game, also having career highs in touchdowns, yards, and completion percentage, arguably playing the best ball of their careers. And I don't have the stats on all the college guys heading to different stops and having great careers, but it's worth noting that what Michael Penix Jr. did in his second school and what Bo Nix did in his second school is worth celebrating as well. Michael Penix Jr. was second in the Heisman, and he's the first quarterback since Patrick Mahomes to throw for 4,500 yards in back-to-back seasons. And again, this is his second school. Bo Nix, after leaving Auburn and going to Oregon, this past season broke the single-season completion percentage record of 77.45 and also broke the record for most starts in college football history. And how about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes? There's a lot of really good quarterbacks playing in the NFL right now. A lot of good young ones. But Patrick's doing stuff. I thought it would take a while before we had ever said anything about a quarterback being on a Brady pace. But being 28 years old with his third Super Bowl, he's ahead of that pace right now. Couple nuggets. There's only 3 players ever, Brady, Mahomes, and Montana, who've won 3 Super Bowls and 2 NFL MVPs. Mahomes has started 96 games for the Kansas City Chiefs, and out of 96 games, they've only had 3 games where they've lost by more than 1 score, by far and away that best record. And how is he at comebacks? When trailing by 10 or more points in the playoffs, he's 5-1. The rest of the NFL is 6-48 in that same situation. The way that salary caps work, he's the first quarterback to be the biggest salary cap hit for his team and win a Super Bowl at the same time. And there was the amazing stuff that football brought into our lives that we didn't see coming. For example, the Lahaina Luna story that I didn't even know happened until I saw it in the pregame of the Super Bowl. It's an incredible example of how football can impact a community, how football can change people's lives, even amidst adversity that we can't even wrap our heads around. I've told the story here before, but Braden Waterman, quarterback at Ole Miss, able to beat cancer again this year. Every year there's triumph, every year there's adversity for people, every year there's accomplishment and incredible things and highlights and devastating injuries, close calls. Every year it proves that this really truly is a game of inches. All the time we see that. But I just thought this year stood out to me as I reflect on the end of the season, looking back on the first and second grade flag football team I coached for my son, the middle school and high school camps on the Summit Tour, some of the best players in college and the NFL, and all the conversations I have with the old guys who used to play back in the day. Thought it was an important time for reflection, and which is why I've only got one thing to say.